Greetings, Quester, and welcome to the Quest Report with Matt and Richard.
And on this Quest Report, we're going to be looking at a recently delivered Kickstarter, Drawing Dead. Now, Drawing Dead is kind of like what's termed a Weird West.
Is it?
When you've got like a Wild West theme, but you kind of put a weird spin on it.
Is that like what's it? The Dark Tower books with the gunslinger in the fantasy world.
I suppose that would probably some people would put that under Weird West.
Probably the original because the book was like from the 70s. So, but no, board game style. Drawing Dead, yeah, definitely Weird West.
But this is a Weird West game. Now, in this, it's basically a take on poker. The idea of the game is that you are cursed to ever walk the land, and you've got to win this poker game so that you can finally let your soul go to rest.
Well,
okay.
that sounds weird. I can see why it's Weird West.
It's uplifting, really, is what it is.
Actually, yeah, we've played this a few times, and I'd forgotten that thing about what we were doing. I just see it as this really cool version of poker that we kept doing.
And that really is what it is. The theme is not really in this game. Mm-hmm. There's nothing strange or weird about this game at all, but it is still a Weird West game. But it is really just a variant of poker. But it's more, I mean, I've played poker before. I really enjoy playing Texas Hold'em. But this, to me, beats poker every time. There are variant differences to this in normal poker, because in poker, generally, you don't have your hand out on display for everyone to see.
You don't play it for souls.
No, and you don't play... Well, sometimes you do.
Depends how into it you are.
Depends how wasted you are on a Saturday night, which is not something I've ever done. This game, you're trying to build a poker hand in front of you, but you've got your other secret cards in your stash which you can play to your hand. Now, you're going to have two types of cards in this. There are your poker cards, which is basically just a normal deck, but with nice artwork.
These guys.
And then you've got what's called roll cards. Now, these roll cards are all different characters that you're supposedly meeting in this setting. So they all give you a special ability. So you play a card to do a thing. So, for example, you ordinarily, instead of just going around the table placing bets, you put in, there's a communal pot that starts off with 5, and whenever you play a card from your hand, a poker card, then you pay a chip into that pot.
So it builds up automatically, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then once you've got your 5 cards in front of you, if you want to play another card to replace one of the 5 cards that's there, you play your new card, discard your old card, and pay another chip. So that pot will build up and up over time.
You can do as many of these things as you want.
Yeah.
You can play as many roll cards as you want during your turn. You can put down as many poker cards to your hand as you want, as long as you can pay the chips. Then it's basically, once you're done, it goes on to the next person, but there's a clean-up at the end where you discard any that are over, and your hand has to be 5 cards by the end of that.
You can have 5 cards in your hand, which is called your stash, and 5 cards in front of you, which is your hand. Yeah.
That's why it's confusing.
Yeah. But there's basically, for setup, it's very simple, because you're just shuffling and putting your cards out. Each player starts off with 15 chips. Each player starts off with 2 poker cards and a roll card, and then on your turn, you draw 2 poker cards and 1 roll card. And then for your second step of your turn, you can play a roll card for free. You can play a poker card, which you pay for. And then if your card is the best poker hand, then you get to claim the button.
Yeah.
Now, the reason that's important, some of the roll cards will allow you to do different things. They'll say if you've got the roll card, you can steal half the stash in front of you. Or
I did that a lot.
Yeah. And the other thing that this is significant, if you hold this and it comes back to your round, back to your turn without anyone taking it from you, you've won that round, so you get to take the stash. And then at that point, you can check if you've got 40 chips and you're the one with the most, then you win that round. So, you win that game rather if you got the 40. So it is really interesting. But some of it's these roll cards that really make it better than poker to me, because there are cards that like Ricky Love cards you play are free this turn, gain a chip for each heart card that you play.
Ricky Love kept turning up in my hand. Got embarrassing. It's like I'm just constantly playing the Ricky Love card.
Yeah.
Just to get rid of him, basically.
There's the Shifty Sisters, which is called a bad guy card, which is usually means it does something to somebody else. You choose a player and look at their stash. You can steal a poker card from them and trash a poker card. Baron Von Doom, each other player trashes an up card of their choice. If you've played another bad guy card this turn, put those cards in your stash. The Gunslinger, trash any number of cards from your stash, trash that many up cards.
All the bad guys.
Yeah, these are all the bad guys.
The
If
Outlaw.
you've got the Outlaw, if you have the button, steal half the pot, rounded up. And the Dirty Cheat, steal any up card. The Desert Rose, draw 3 poker cards.
I like playing the Dirty Cheat card when we're playing poker.
Yeah.
It just feels good.
The Magic Man, draw a poker card for each of your red up
Magic
cards.
Man from Adventure Time.
Ace Rogers was one that we used quite a bit because it was very powerful. When you play this, choose one of your up cards, treat this card as a copy of that card, and then that, whether you lose the original one that you've copied or not, this will stay as that.
Basically, make any amazing poker. If you've got that and the Joker one, because the Joker can be a wild card, you can make really cool hands quite easily, can't you?
Because then you can very easily copy, because you can make the wild card the best card available, because the wild card will become whatever card makes the best card, the best poker hand that's possible. And if you've not played poker before, you don't have to worry, because on the back of this, it actually teaches you your poker hand rankings. So it will teach you, what a royal flush is, what a straight flush is, what a full house is, a 3 of a kind, which is quite self-explanatory. But some of these are quite explanatory, like a pair, 2-pair high card, 3 of a kind are all pretty self-explanatory. 4 of a kind is. But some of the others, if you've not played poker before, you will need some sort of reference. But you can get that from this. And what we did before as well was because my wife hasn't played poker before, we put up on the screen just a list as well, so that you can look at that without necessarily needing to look at the back of the rule book. But it's a very straightforward game to learn, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you have to kind of, in your head, stop comparing it to poker, because it's like, not what I mean, obviously it's a big comparison, but you have to kind of forget that while you're learning the rules, because it is kind of different, because you're not keeping your hand secret in a way. You're putting that out on the table so everyone can see. You kind of see the hand that other people are building. But
you can keep it secret in the sense that what I did on a couple of rounds, rather than playing cards in front of me to build up a hand,
build them up in your
I was building them up in my stash so no one could see it, and then I'd pay to put all 5 out in one go.
Yeah.
And
then I had roll cards to steal them.
Yeah.
But
that was quite good, because then you can still hide that. And there are things as well like Nina Nails, and there's others that will you can play the sheriff card that allows you to stop another roll card, so you can stop a bad guy from stealing from you.
I once kept that for ages, just waiting until somebody did something terrible with a roll card so I could use it. But, yeah.
And the roll cards are really what make the game, because they are interesting to play. They do bring a different dynamic to what is essentially just a normal poker game. And without those, it would just be playing poker. But these elevate it to a different standard, and it's what makes me think, if I was given the choice to play Drawing Dead or poker, I'd choose Drawing Dead every time.
Yeah, I would. It does feel more like an actual game than poker. I mean, I have played it with some of my friends for Pogs before, which was a bit odd, but that was kind of fun. Obviously, I don't really like. I've never gambled, so we just had a load of Pogs. This is like ages after the age of Pogs, but we just used them as chips, and as whoever had the most at the end wins. And I was absolutely terrible. I never had any Pogs, and but I enjoy like all the hands and everything, and like learning what beats what. I think that bit's really good, but I just can't get the hang of the like when to call and when to raise and when to fold, and not going woohoo when you've got a good hand, things like that. But this basically, it had all the fun aspects of poker. I felt like we were being quite cool the way we were just kind of putting cards down and putting a chip in the middle. It feels like the cool game of poker, but it flowed a lot better, I thought.
Yeah, and because of the roll cards, it meant that you could steal other people's cards. You were playing cards to get extra cards. There was a lot that you could do. There was a lot of options because you were getting the roll cards every turn, and combining them could make for some quite powerful strategies.
Yeah, you can do pretty good chains. Yeah.
For example, at one point I had a couple of cards that I knew would allow me to do. There were bad guy cards that would allow me to do things to other players.
The extra bad.
So I play one at first that I didn't really want to do to get other people to play their stop cards to stop me from doing it, so that then I could play my next bad guy card and they had no defense. Things like that were fun. And it was just a fun variant on it. And I would say that it, as you say, it was smoother, it was faster than that. The artwork, if you're not into Wild West, it is a bit macabre, but nothing.
Like that festival they have in Mexico, is it? Or no, not. I can't remember where they have it. Where the one that's on Spectre anyway, on James Bond, where they've all got skull face paints on.
Yeah,
it just basically is that.
You're thinking of the Festival of the Dead.
Yeah.
Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got most of these have got like white face paint on them on the cards, so they are a bit macabre. But if that's not going to bother you, then I don't think you'll quite enjoy that. The actual deck of cards as well have some funkier artwork than a normal deck. I mean, like the Joker's a wild. It's got a skull with a jester hat on it, and
skull.
Some of the other royal cards, like the
Spooky.
Queen, Jack, King, have got crowns on them and things, and they look cool.
Yeah, but they're just normal cards. That's one of the nice things about it, that you have just got a full deck of normal playing cards to play it, but they are kind of themed. Do you feel like Weird West?
Yeah,
which is a term I've learnt this podcast.
And if anything happened to your poker cards from me, you could just replace them with a normal deck. I mean, you get the little like cardboard chips in this. We didn't actually bother with those because I've got some proper poker chips.
Yeah, we
just use those instead.
They kind of clatter nicely when you put them in the middle.
Yeah, make for a nice little pile.
Yeah.
But yeah, I highly recommend this as a fun alternative to poker, and if you like poker, I think this will you will enjoy this more than poker.
Play it responsibly. Don't lose all your souls.
Farewell, Quester. To find out about other productions by the Meddlesome Meeples, then check out our channel or rendezvous with us at meddlesomemeeples.com. Until next time, Quester, farewell and keep thine axe sharp.